Make sure you're double checking on the phone.
Hey y'all, welcome to our HAA Live. We're joined today by some of the HAA grant staff. So my name is Liana, I'm the grants operations coordinator here, and I'm joined today.
I'm Andrea. Hi everyone, Andrea, the grants compliance specialist.
And then today we also have...
Yes, hi there. My name is Brazen. I'm a grants intern.
Alrighty, well, thank you guys for joining. We're gonna just give a few announcements while we wait for a couple more folks to join. Excited to share that we just closed the first round of our first grant cycle of the year for LCH and CI. So thank you everybody who submitted, an application. It was, awesome to see so many submissions come through and read all of your wonderful applications. And we just finished the eligibility verification process and our curing process. And just want to let you guys know, if you did submit an application, it may be a few months until you receive, a final decision. But yeah, the typical process is from 3 to 4 months. So keep an eye out for those notices whenever we send them out. And we're also excited to share that the second round for LCH and CI will be opening on May 25th. So if you weren't able to, get your application in on time for the first round, there is still another opportunity for you. And there is one later in the year as well. We have 3 rounds available for LCH and CI. And yeah, so that'll be opening on May 25th. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask away. We're here to answer any questions and give you guys some general information about what we do, the grants programs, the process, anything at all. Is anybody, let's see. Andrea, do you want to share anything?
Yeah, and so thank you, Liana. As Liana said, the second round opens May 25th and it closes June 23rd. So you have about a month for that application cycle. Then the other one that will open after that will be June 15th and closing July 24th. And that will be for what we call our annual grants, which is our bigger grants that we only offer once a year. It's going to be our festival grant, our support for artists and creative individuals, and our support for organizations. And you can definitely ask us questions about those as well. We have a little more time to prep for that, and you all too. But we're always here to answer any questions related to those as well. And yeah, that's all I have for now.
And those annuals guidelines will be updated soon. They'll probably be posted publicly towards the end of the month and closer to, not the end of the month. They'll be posted closer to June 15th, that opening start date. So keep an eye out for that. There may be a couple changes that you guys, should keep note of. Generally, most of that information will stay the same, but it's always good, and we always encourage people to read the updated guidelines each time that they're put out. And then some action items to get into, and as people are joining, feel free to ask questions or just say hi. We appreciate you guys being here. Yeah, little friendly hello. But yeah, some action items. So since the second cycle will be opening, on May 25th, just to recap some things we noticed from submissions in the first round, some do's and don'ts essentially. So to keep in mind, if you guys want to apply for our grants, one of the main things you have to be aware of is that you do have to reside within City of Houston limits. And so we have a mapping tool available on our website where you can type in your address and see if you're eligible to apply or not. So before you, spend all your, hard efforts and time, putting in an application, please make sure that you are eligible to apply. And then in addition to that, making sure that once you set up your profile, that your address is up to date, within the profile itself, and then whatever documents that you submit. It also has to reflect that address and be from 2026. So just to keep those things in mind.
Yeah, and if you have questions, and if you want us to double check or just run it by us before you hit submit, you can totally do that. But once you've hit submit, we unfortunately
Yeah.
can't help you and can't change anything on the application. But as long as it's in draft mode, we can help you and answer any questions.
Oh, I just was going to say we do have one question in the chat.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, I'm gonna read it out.
All right.
Okay, so at Henry Rue _ asked, have there been any submissions in regards to a Houston hip hop exhibition that covers several aspects such as music history, studies, socioeconomic, pardon my stutter, Black and Hispanic culture, etc.?
We've definitely received applications in the past that sort of encompass those themes. And so if your question is related to is this something that HAA, has historically funded before, I would say yes. And so I would say just make sure that whatever project proposal you're thinking of submitting for a grant is eligible within our guidelines. And so there's a whole new section in our updated guidelines where it goes over public presentation, and the requirements are essentially just it's open to the public, it's arts and culture related. What else? It's within City of Houston, and so our requirements are, just sort of, a guideline. They're not restricting any certain types of programming, so long as they're open to arts and culture and to the general public. So it sounds like your idea is something we've definitely funded before, and if you want us to go over your application with you, your ideas, we're always available via phone call and email. And we also offer application reviews. So once that new cycle opens and you submit, an application, or before you submit your application, if you're drafting up an application and you want one of the staff members to review it with you and, sort of give you tips and pointers based off our experience, that is an option, and you can schedule a meeting with us on our website.
Perfect. And then let's see, someone else also asked, are you able to post events to the cultural events calendar after your event has already taken place, just in case you forgot? The answer is yes.
Yes.
You can just email calendar@haatx.com, and they'll be able to retroactively post that event for you, just in case any qualms occurred in the midst of planning and all that, which is totally understandable. Things occur.
Yes. But just to let you know, you don't have to reach out to calendar@HAATX. You can just go ahead and submit a post normally on our calendar website, and those materials should be available for you on the grants page on our website. And so if you missed it, we understand event planning gets busy and you may have forgot that requirement. Totally fair. Happens all the time, and you are able to submit retroactively. If you need assistance with anything, then please reach out to our fabulous calendar specialist, Rebecca, at calendar@haatx.com.
Yes, and then let's see, one more question in the Instagram chat. They asked, how about applications on CoralWorks?
CoralWorks. That's definitely something that we funded before, and it's definitely in the vein of what HAA would love to support. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, as long as the project relates to is some sort of art discipline or has culture involved as well, and you have a presentation that is open to the public. It can't just be private rehearsal that you would like to fund or studio recordings or stuff like that. There must be a presentation of some sort where the public can go and experience the work that you are requesting funding for. Because ultimately these funds are hotel occupancy tax dollars, so they're public dollars, and the city wants these funds to go back into the community, so for artists and organizations, but also so that the Houston public can, go and see what is being generated, and ultimately to have more tourism within Fort Houston. Yeah. Good questions.
Yes, good questions.
Let's see, Sassy, is it focused on one artist or can you involve others?
Oh, hi, Ophelia. Yes, so Sassy, you can definitely collaborate with multiple people so long as you, of course, indicate that within your application. HAA does have a new policy regarding collaborations, so feel free to take a look at that in our updated guidelines. But of course, HAA supports collaboration. So long as you are the lead applicant and you're not applying, of course, on behalf of like a organization, you know, a nonprofit, then yeah, SASE is for you and for your collaborators to get support with whatever project you guys have in mind. Okay, good questions, everybody. As we wait for more questions to come in the chat, we just want to go over a couple of things that are coming up. So the month of June will be full of workshops, so that's exciting. We'll be posting the dates of those workshops closer towards the end of the month. And so just keep an eye out for those updates. You can sign up for our newsletter or, you know, subscribe to our Instagram. If you're here, you probably already are following us. But the newsletter is a great way to, you know, get the best updates on what's happening at HAA across the board, not just within the grants department, but also any civic arts grant opportunities or art opportunities. That's a fantastic resource to have. But yeah, so stay tuned for workshops if you want to come to, you know, information sessions, you know, or a format like this that's a bit more casual to ask your questions. You know, we have a couple different options for you guys to get up-to-date information. And yeah, so if you guys have any questions about specific grant programs, you can also ask about that. If you have ideas in mind of like what you're trying to get funded, like we're here to, you know, talk it out with you guys.
And we'll also be hosting more Instagram lives throughout the summer as well, and at different times too, just to, you know, reach different people. You know, lives are busy, and so we want to try to find like other ways to engage with you all and be flexible and get you all the support and information that you all need or would like.
Yeah. Okay, and so we've been talking a lot about like dates and like things like that, but to go over the actual grant program themselves, you know, if you guys are unfamiliar, like new here, you know, we have a couple different grant programs. We have 5 across the board, and you know, you may be wondering like, well, what grant program is best for me, you know, if I'm an individual artist or if I'm an organization. And there's a couple different options that you guys have. So the maximum amount of awards that you can receive in a year is 3 awards. And so what that means is that you can kind of pick and select, you know, which grant programs you'd like to apply to based on, you know, what you're eligible to apply for. But you could potentially get up to 3 awards. And so our award programs that are offered, you know, throughout the year are Let Creativity Happen and Cities Initiative grant programs. So those are offered in 3 rounds. And like we had mentioned at the start of the stream, our first round just closed. So if you guys had submitted an application, like congratulations and thank you for participating. Those announcements should go out like in a few months. So keep an eye out for those. But yeah, so that Let Creativity Happen grant and CI grant, that's Cities Initiative, are offered 3 times a year. And the second round is opening up, I believe, on May 25th, and you guys will have about a month. It closes June 23rd to get those applications in. And so what these programs are, Let Creativity Happen is a grant program of an award that is $2,500, and it's, I would say, one of our most friendliest grants in terms of like, we award the most amount of people this grant. And again, that's not to guarantee to anybody that you'll get funding, but just to sort of be transparent about like levels of competitiveness within the different grant programs. This one is available for like a huge range of projects. So if you have something that's really innovative, unique, then you can, you know, submit an application here, and we would love to see that type of programming. And organizations and individuals can apply for this grant, open to both. Just make sure that, you know, when you're signing up to do your profile, that, you know, you sign up for the right one. So if you're an individual, don't make an org profile. And if you're an organization, don't make an individual profile. So just to keep that in mind. And The city's initiative grant program is a grant award amount of $10,000. So it is a bit higher than the Let Creativity Happen. It is also a bit more competitive because of that. And that's not to discourage anybody to apply. We'd love to see your applications come in. But just to be transparent again about the different variations in the grant programs. The city's initiative is also a bit more restrictive. There are some funding areas, so like themes that you guys have to, tailor your projects to fit under. And so those themes are disaster resilience, neighborhood and cultural awareness, and conference and tourism. And so those descriptions of what those themes are and like types of projects that could fall under those themes are available on the guidelines. So definitely check those out if you're interested. But yeah, so those are two, I guess, most common grants that we have available, 3 times a year. So if you weren't able to get in an application the first round, you are available still to apply in the second round or even the third round later this year. And I've been yapping a lot, so I'm going to pass it over to Andrea.
We do have one question real quick.
Yeah.
It's regarding the Civic Art collaboration with Houston Airport System and Southwest Airlines. We are not specifically involved with that project. That's going to be our Civic Art department. But I do believe that there is a pinned post on our Instagram that tells you kind of more of the details of who to contact for all that fun stuff. I want to say the deadline is in June 1, I believe, is what it says. So yes, I would. Leanna's going to fact check me real quick.
Yeah, let's see.
That's important. Fact checking is important.
Yeah, I would just reference our website. We are the grant staff, so we're not as familiar with what Civic Arts is doing. So apologies if we're not able to answer your question as accurately as probably the Civic Arts department could. But always reference whatever information is posted online on our website. I believe there's a Civic Arts page. There is.
Yes. And they're super lovely, nice people.
Yes,
so
they are.
They can answer all of your questions better than we could.
Absolutely. You can also give them a call. It's the same number across the board, just different extensions for different departments. So if you want, more information, definitely give them a call.
Oh, what are our names?
Oh.
My name is Braden. I'm a grants intern.
I'm Andrea, the grants compliance specialist.
And I'm Liana, the grants operations coordinator. But thank you for joining Faith in Clinical Reason.
Thank you for all the questions so far. We are here for a few more minutes, like 20-ish or so. So
yeah,
we're here for still some time. So no worries about people who are kind of coming and going. Thank you, Liana, for that overview on the current grant programs. So I can speak a little bit about our annual grant programs that will be coming up later in the summer, although I can't believe that June is next month. So
yeah.
I say later, but it's next month. So we are gearing up for those as well and updating our guidelines. But the guidelines from last year are posted on there. So if you want to familiarize yourself with what those grant programs are, you can reference that. Disclaimer, they will be updated for this year, but it's a good place to start and familiarize yourself with those grant programs. So our annual grants are our support for artists and creative individuals. So that is open only for individual artists and their collaborators or collectives. If you are an established nonprofit, you cannot apply for that grant. That's only for individuals and their collaborators. And yeah, it's kind of like a bigger Let Creativity Happen grant. It is for $15,000, and it's for any type of artistic medium project, so long as it has a public presentation and you're presenting the work that you're proposing in a public setting. It can really be any art form, any art discipline. And these projects, I should say, a very important thing, we call them annual grants because they're only offered once a year and it is for the next calendar year. So if you're thinking about projects for this calendar year, you might want to look at more our Let Creativity Happen and Cities Initiative grants. But if you're thinking of something for 2027 and it's kind of a bigger scale project, then definitely take a look at our annual grants. That might be a better fit, because timeline is a factor that we, the staff, look at when initially reviewing all the application submissions. So also take a look at the associated grant term dates that are posted on our website, in the guidelines, and also within the application portal. When you create your account and start the application, those grant term dates are outlined there.
And what's the cap on SASE again for?
Yeah, so it's 15,000 for the individual artist grant. Then we have our festival grant that is open to individuals, collectives, and organizations. And those are for festivals. Any type of like artistic or cultural festival that, if it happens on a yearly or like biannual basis, definitely apply for that one. Did we get another question?
We did.
Oh, okay. I can stop rambling and we can
No,
answer the questions.
it wasn't. Go ahead.
I lost my train of thought. Yeah, so the festival grant, see, sometimes when I start talking about our grants and just giving out the information, I'm kind of like on autopilot. Yeah, so festival grants for next year, any type of like artistic medium, so long as it's in a festival format and you present it that way, you are eligible for the festival grant. Then our last annual is our support for organizations grant, and that one is specifically for 501c3 nonprofits or fiscally sponsored organizations. And we can talk more in a later segment. I don't know why I said that about fiscal sponsorships and stuff like that. But yeah, so that one, oh, I should say, I don't know if I mentioned, for the festival grant, it's 10,000 for the award amount that you can receive. For support for organizations grant, it's open for Houston area nonprofits that have, arts, that are arts focused or culture focused, or if your organization is not, arts focused, doesn't have it named in its mission, but you do like arts programming or offer some events that are arts and culture related, you can still apply. There is just a specific category for those organizations that are not like arts or culture focused. And yeah, that's kind of like the big overview of our annual grants. We will have more like dedicated like workshops to talking more specifically about those, because it is a lot. We run the 3 of them at the same time. But yeah, no worries if you have questions right now about those. We are happy to answer those. Yeah, and the award amounts for the organization grant, that varies because it's dependent on the hot predictions for next year. So if you have more questions about that, you can schedule a meeting with us or send us an email, because it is a bit more like complicated to explain here. But yeah, we don't have those set awards amounts, because that also depends on the organization's like operating budget, less in kind, and then again with what the predictions are for the next year.
Yes, and then let's see.
Questions now.
Yes, Faith
Next.
has. Faith has a question real quick, and says, for the festival, if they apply for a festival grant, can they be ticketed events or must they be free?
That's okay. Go ahead, Liana. I've talked enough.
Okay, we're just gonna keep switching.
Yes.
Yeah, so your events can definitely be ticketed. They do not have to be free. HA does not have that requirement. We understand that artists or like event organizers, organizations, y'all do a lot of work and you deserve to be compensated for the work that you do. So if you want to ticket your events, that's totally eligible. And yeah, so feel free to do that. Obviously, like, keep in mind an accessibility point when it comes to tickets, like, don't make your tickets probably like $100 each. And but that is up to you, of course. But just to keep that in mind, like whenever you're putting that in the application, panelists love to see details. So if you have a price range of what you think your tickets would be, some people do like a sliding scale of, based on affordability, or they have like a set ticket amount, that is like helpful information that the panelists would love to see in the application. So definitely think about that whenever you're writing that app. Yeah. And then any other questions, Faith, if you want, we could also set up a meeting with you. Like, we love to just do like phone calls, or you can send us an email if you have like a specific idea for the festival grant that you want to talk out with us. Like, we're available for that as well.
Yes, all right. Let's see. Can someone choose any funding areas for cities initiative, pardon me, randomly, or are they tied to a specific grant round?
So they're no longer tied to a specific grant round. If you've been here before, you know, you're familiar with the HAA grants, you know, previously in the past, like themes had to be connected to certain rounds in order to, you know, get like a boost. We have done away with that. So that's no longer like the case. So each round you can apply for any theme that fits your project. Good question. Yes, because that is an update that has been made this year, just to make it a bit more accessible to everybody.
And to clarify further, it's capped at the $10,000 for
Yes.
each round. There's no more boosts
Yes.
for CI.
Speaking of boosts, so
New segment.
new segment. Andrea fabulously talked about like annuals, but one of the great things about annuals is that if you identify as a person of color in your profile, or if you're an organization that is primarily, you know, like serving constituents that are BIPOC, then you are eligible to receive an additional boost award in addition to that baseline. So if you know, got awarded a SASE grant that was a baseline of $15,000, you could receive an automatic boost just because of that boost factor. So that's really great for, you know, those annual programs. And again, it only applies to the annual programs. So if you're, you know, awarded a Let Creativity Happen grant or a Cities Initiative, those base award amounts stay the same.
Yes, thank you, Liana, for mentioning that. I was thinking that as well to mention at the next time. But yeah, I was gonna say something about the
Yeah.
I lost my train of thought.
All good.
But-
And we are joined today by a very special guest. Dun, 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 dun.
Who is it?
Who is it?
Hello. Hi. I'm Quang. I'm the director of grants here. You guys are in wonderful hands. And I will leave you guys to it.
Okay, my great.
Bye,
Thank you.
Quang.
Yes, that was our fabulous director of grants, Quang. So if you have any questions that you want to direct to Quang, like we're your go-to people, and then we'll forward it to him. But yeah, so if there's anybody new here that didn't hear our earlier spiels, the first round for Let Creativity Happen in CI have closed. So if you submitted an app, thank you for submitting. And round 2 is about to open. I just want to keep shouting that out because, you know, this is a great like opportunity to get funding for your projects this year. Our annual grants, like Andrea had mentioned, are for next year. So if you need funding for an event that you have planned, you know, let's say like fall, like December, definitely think about applying for round 2 because that is your last opportunity to get funding this year.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Liana, for that important, because round 3, which is our last round of grant cycle, will be for 2027. So yeah, round 2 is the last one to apply for projects this year. If not, the next grant opportunities will be for projects taking place in 2027.
And that round 2 grant term starts in what month?
Round 2 grant term starts in October. So round 1, the grant term starts in August of this year, August 1st. Round 2, the grant term starts in October 1st of 2026. And they're year-long grant terms. And then for round 3 of LCH and CI, it starts at the beginning of 2027. So January 2027 to December 2027.
Yeah, so super exciting. You have plenty of opportunities to, you know, get funding for your projects, and don't feel like if this is your first time, you know, looking at HAA, don't feel like there's any sort of like intimidation factor. We understand that there's a lot of information on our website and in the guidelines, so it may seem like overwhelming. If there's anything that you're confused on or that you need like clarification or you need help like figuring out like, well, what's the best program for me? Like, what's the best grant for this project that I have in mind? You know, feel free to reach out to us. We're not scary people. We're here to help. Like, yeah, so you can give us a call, send us an email. I can put the email in the chat. of where to reach us at. And then if you want to schedule a meeting with us or you just want further information, we do have a link tree available in our bio. So you can click on that and it'll take you to all the specific sites and resources. And I just put our grants email where you should contact us for more information in the chat. But yeah, like definitely tap into this these funding opportunities. And just to kind of go over again what I was mentioning, there are like 3 max awards you can receive, you know, each year. And since we've kind of gone over like the different types of grant programs, we can let you know. So, you know, if you're an individual or you're an organization, you're eligible to receive 1 like Creativity Happen Award, 1 Cities Initiative Award, and then 1 annual award. So across the board, you guys keep in mind, like you cannot receive 2 annual grants. You have to pick 1 that you want to apply for. And again, there's only 1 application cycle for those grant programs. So you have to decide, you know, if you want a festival grant, SASE grant, and then of course organizations is just for organizations. But yeah, so you could potentially receive 3 different grants. Keep in mind that if you're submitting to multiple grant programs, it does have to be for different projects. So you can't use 2 grants to support, you know, 1 project that you have in mind. Like each application you submit should be for a different project, a different event. So keep that in mind. And then what else?
To add with
Yes.
that, we do support, like if you, let's say, like you're doing a TV show digitally or whatever, like putting it on YouTube, like a YouTube web series, that's what I was thinking of. And you are doing, you know, like several episodes, you can apply with like each episode to like a different grant or even the same grant in like a new calendar year. But you just have to define how, you know, this is the second episode, the second part versus the first one that you applied with. So like the title has to be different. You have to like indicate that it is like a second iteration, continuation, just so that we know we're not funding like the exact same thing, because that's what the staff, what we call our eligibility review, we review those factors. So we review the eligibility requirements, which is, you know, you live within the city of Houston and the project takes place within the grant term. And then like we read your narratives to see like if the actual project itself has not been funded before or it's not like an ineligible project. So yeah, just when you're crafting your narrative, just make sure that if you are, you know, applying for a second iteration of a project, the second part or third part, that you define that in the narrative. Yeah.
Key, yes. And as we're nearing the end of our live, any last questions that you guys have, feel free to put in the chat. Okay, Faith, you asked, I scheduled a call. Can another individual join? Of course, yes. Whoever your collaborators are, like they can join the meeting as well. So all good there. But yeah, any last questions before we wrap up? Now is the time to ask.
And also just to make sure there's no such thing as a dumb question.
Yes,
It's better that you ask just for clarification than to assume, because then assumptions can go different places. So
yes, absolutely. Only Shot by Jono says he's been trying to get in, or they, sorry, have been trying to get in touch with us. Well, we are available, so give us a call after the live ends and we can discuss with you anything, you know, any questions that you have or anything at all related to, you know, your projects, what you have in mind. We are here and available. And if you guys have called us in the past and we happen to miss your call, we apologize. Like the grant staff schedule is super busy, meetings all the time. And like the process, you know, to, you know, facilitate all these applications and grant cycles is a lot of work. And, you know, we appreciate you guys, you know, for your patience. And yeah, we do our best to be there for the community and support you guys. Yeah, let's see. Do you guys have the number by any chance? We could put it in the chat for the HAA grants line. Oh, did you find the number? Okay.
I'm looking up the number. I feel like I should have it memorized by now, but what am I looking up?
You can probably find it online if you type in haa.com.
I have the number. It is
Okay.
7, and I'll just say it out loud as well.
Okay,
It's
yes.
713-527-9330. And our extension is 1 for the grants department. And again, like Leon said, if we don't answer, because yes, well, we do have like a lot of meetings and other things that we are working on, but send us an email as well. And we monitor and respond to emails in the inbox like very regularly throughout the day. So if you can't get a hold of us on the phone, send us an email and we will reply back.
Yes, and that email is grants@haatx.com. And it is in the chat for reference. And Faith said, I am a nurse. I want to bring the music to patients and healthcare workers too. That sounds fabulous, Faith. Like, we'd love to support something like that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Great idea.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty, y'all. If there's no last questions, I think we're going to end the live for today. But we thank you guys so much for joining us. It was really great to see like so many people coming in and out. And I hope that you guys submit your applications and get funding for your hard I don't know what I was saying, but your projects.
Your hard
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys.